Recording in progress.
Hello everyone. Hello, my dear students. Question requests lea. Admission of a partner question requests flata. Shall adjustment of capital he soft hang empty request question number 27 te. Oh, hey he can solve fanga chuan concept explain to rom chuan question I can explain nga lang. Oh, without wasting any time, let's straight away move to the question. Question can nga lang. Oh, time waste lovin le. Question number 27. Adjustment of capital question. And yeah, exam at swak thay. Oh, hey, chance sa sang luto ni. Adjustment of capital tun tuma. Oh, exam swak thay. Chance sa sang. Adjustment of capital amo in chat to. Concept pathum ma. Oh, adjustment of capital taking new partners capital as base. Second to adjustment of capital taking old partners capital as base. Third to simultaneous adjustment. Oh, adjustment pathum kan endon ni lecture patni. Angai may thea lecture khachu. It will be very long lecture pania. Hemi adjustment of capital concept he can discuss. Question can solve boko. Oh, le. Question number 27 can now. The following was the balance sheet of A, B, and C, sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 6 by 14, 5 by 14, and 3 by 14. Hey, him in picture all ratio and yatro. All ratio between A, B, and C. Le. Creditors, bills payable, capital account, land and building, furniture, stock, debtors, and cash. Oh, adjustment he can see around. Wait, exam thing in solve. Student, I'm taking boy china sar adjustment well here. Throw question requirement can input. Oh, what's the requirement of the question? Question requirement to prepare cash account, profit and loss adjustment account, also called as revaluation account. Oh, revaluation account consider throw. Revaluation account is also called as P&L adjustment account. Oh, and the opening balance sheet of the new firm. New balance sheet can see mga ini. Oh, so requirement is partners capital account, revaluation account, and balance sheet. Pero mas capital account can see bokang. Oh, working note capital account can see there. First, let's prepare revaluation account. Revaluation account can see potang. Oh, hey, question eng makan let's share labang. Okay, let's see how will we save time in the exam. Revaluation account. Revaluation account. In chatong revaluation account kan siam to atrok school apo in zir to nga ka class a chon mo engma kan bai hat ngai lo ni oh loss ani chon debit akan da nga gain ani chon credit chu ti khati engma kan bai hat ngai lo oh concept kan thra thiam nga rules kan thra thiam nga chon question all some de win kan solve thai ni oh revaluation account na inge kan da thin ti kan thiat phat ngai ni revaluation account na chon adjustment of assets and liabilities. Oh, revaluation account na chon adjustment of assets and liabilities kandang. Omja cho assets le liabilities lo eng ma en ngai lo capital partners capital information ani chon in ignore makang revaluation account na chon assets le liabilities are changes om ti kan na nga changes om ani chon revaluation account na a treatment to kan ti don ani oh revaluation account na chon adjustment of assets and liabilities oh chon revaluation account hi nge eng account nge ti kan se thiam phat angai ni oh revaluation account is a nominal account nominal account oh revaluation account is a nominal account nominal account kan ti chu nge temporary ania het lo tro nominal account om ja chu het lo temporary account nia atopa kan close nge ngai kum top or hemi account kan honna chan kha a fulfill to chuan kan close nge ngai revaluation account hi enting kan close thin atopa profit and loss kan zonga tro profit or loss on revaluation chuan profit or loss kha partners capital account na kan transfer thin ani mem so this way we will close the revaluation account nominal account class 11 a inziranga golden rules of accounting a inziranga tro nominal account rule. What is the rule of nominal account? Debit all expenses or losses. John, credit all incomes or gains. Omja chu revaluation adjustment a hian loss om chuan debit side akan danga gain om chuan credit side akan dang. Oh, tikhan kan thret hiam ang. chuan mo assets kan asset value al hutna tla ni amani chuan business point of view atang kan ngai tuanga tro kan asset thi nge valuable things owned by the business ania a value tla ni amani chuan loss ania nga tro business tan loss ani chuan where will we keep this debit side of revaluation account. Because the rule of revaluation account is debit all expenses or losses. Kan asset value at lan niyam chuan alhut nat lan niyam chuan kan loss ang atro business tan chuan loss ani nga loss ani chuan debit side ta kan dang. Chuan kan asset value alhut na apung chuan business tan gain ani nga atro gain ani chuan credit side of revaluation account akan dang. Achan chu the rule is credit all incomes or gains. Chuan liabilities so ile lokila. Liability hinge burden ania tro mi poisa kan puka entinan loan kan la thina tro mi poisa kan puk thina kan peklet ngi ngai thini tro liability ani chuan it's a burden entertainment liability ani chuan kan pek ngi ngai nga chuan kan liability value increase apung chuan business tan loss ani nga tro loss ani chuan inge niang debit side of revaluation account akan dang. Chuan kan asset value kan liability value ni amani chuan business tan gain ani nga tro gain ani chuan credit side of revaluation account chu zong chu. This is the rule. You understand this rule? Revaluation account is very, very easy. Entertainment. Asset value at lan hiam chuan business tan chuan loss ani nga tro. Tinge loss kan tina chan asset hinge hilhut tro valuable things owned by the business kan asset value at lat niam chon loss ani nga tro loss ani chon debit side kan asset value at increase apung ani chon gain ani nga gain ani chon credit side kan dang liability increase chon loss anga loss ani chon debit side liability value ani niam chon kan gain anga gain ani chon credit side kan dang inchim hey rule hi kan follow anga chon kan revaluation account cho someday win kan siam the don ni inchim inchim tura ka ngai bahya dangai lo debit kad asset value at lan hiam chon debit side dang apung chon credit side da bahya dangai to lo rule kan follow nga rule kan thriam nga rule kan follow zel don ni le revaluation account kan siam to adjustment of assets and liabilities kan entry na tro le assets le liabilities a danglam na kan zongang adjustment hi an taula adjustment hi anula they agreed to take D into partnership and give him 1/8 share of the on the following terms. Adjustment of assets and liabilities omla patro can ignore siyang. That D should bring in 12,600 as goodwill and 21,000 as his capital. Hey po he adjustment of assets and liabilities information anila ba can ignore siyang. Hey hinge partners poisa partner in poisa keng lutu information ania partners capital account na kanda angatro can ignore siyang. Point number B atang kan tanang. Point number B atang that furniture be depreciated by 2%. Kan furniture hi 12% in continuum do ni calculator hi kan lalok furniture hi kan asset ani atro kan asset hi 12% in continuum do na al hutna atla niam do ni furniture 10,500 into 12% to 1260 1260 in kan furniture value at lan hiam do na tro kan asset lan hiam chuan loss ani nga loss ani chuan debit side ta kan dang to furniture exact in niya at lan hiam 1260 in easy next point number C kanang that stock be depreciated by 10%. Stock hi asset anya tro asset hi 10% in kan depreciate ja chu athlut na tla niam do na ni 10% ni chuan 42,000 into 10% is 4200 kan furniture value at niam do na tro loss ani chuan stock loss ani chuan debit side kan dang achan chu a rule kan thria tro debit all expenses or losses next that a reserve of 5% be created for doubtful debts. Saying debtors then relation ania tro debtors then relation ania debtors kan asset ania adjustment of assets matro revaluation account na kan dang that a reserve of 5% be created for doubtful debts hing kan thiam ngai provision for doubtful debts he future akan loss tur ania future loss future akan loss tur kan loss mai thei kan tia entinan real life in hrethiam taila thente poisa input tir thin tro poisa min puk sak thina chon peklet na changan chalo thina ni an thengil thina ni tro an thengil der nge an thengil tak tak po ka hrethiam la ke po ka thenten poisa ka phel thete pon poisa min puk sak thina peklet na changan se to lo an thengil nge ka hrethiam do entinan poisa sing khat an pu ka tro example a hrethiam ila hei hi that ni nuwa ka peng che min tia that ni nuwa chon pek na ai pek na chang an se to lo an thei hil thina ni ka remind le thina ni ka poisa ipu khamin pe tola ka ti thina chon debtors nen bad debt si chu debtors nen relation kan ne tro hei entinan debtors ni ta se batu ten nia tro debtors chu kan poisa batu ten nia enting en bat na chan kha credit sales bungro bain bungro kan sal chua ka tro poisa min pek turan ni intretiam hei min kan batu ten nia tro poisa min pe don ni future 10,000 hi kan min pe dona chon business a hian mo bad debt si om theini bad debt swing kan loss tak tak to min pe to don lo ni 10,000 pu ka tro 10,000 a hian 2,000 hi ka pe the to lo che an dia 8,000 chau hi min pe hi kan poisa hi cash lu tanga business a 2,000 hi chu bachia ni to ni bad debt ani to ni hei chu kan loss tak tak to kan loss tak tak to ma se provision hi nge provision chu future a kan loss tur hi entina next year akan loss tur hi provision kan siam thina ni entina ta hian credit sale hei kumhni ni ta se ta hian bungrua bain kan thala tro poisa chu next year amin pe don ani poisa chu next year alu tanga ma se kan hriat chu kum to pa provision kan siam ngi ngai thina ni kum to pa provision kan siam ngi ngai thin achan chu future a loss ta ila hemi loss hi current period nen relation ani tro chu bang chuan the concept of prudence kan mangani concept of prudence a chuan future a kan loss tur ani chuan kan book hal thei ni profit and loss account a kan transfer hal thei entertainment so provision for bad debts is a loss achan chu kan debtors value atlan hiam do na tro alatlan hiam chi lo ma se atlan hiam me thei kan tia loss a me thei kan tia provision kan siam thin ani provision ani chuan loss ani tro 5% ni atlan hiam anga 1890 1890 to provision for doubtful debts debtors kan ziak lo bang nakina ka explain ang chau tingin debtors kan ziak thelo na chan next point number E that the value of land and building having appreciated be brought up to 93,000 kan land and building asset ani tro appreciate don ni appreciate om je chu a value a pung don new value to 93,000 and don he brought up to new value to 93,000 all value here is 72,000 and new value to 93,000 72 atong 93 apung to don ya value apung don a value ezang ya difference revaluation account na chon a difference engzat in nge apung engzat in nge niam ti kan ziak thina ni apung ani chon business tan gain ani nga tro kan asset value increase chon gain ani nga gain ani chon credit side kan dang by land and building engzat in nge apung 21,000 in he difference kan ziak don ni easy next that after making adjustments the capital accounts hey capital information min thil dei ni tro capital information ani hey kan ignore thei to ni chu capital ani chon kan ignore ang revaluation a chon assets and liabilities adjustment chi kan da don ani le information dangom to lo tro je chu we can close our revaluation account kan close thei to tina le gain side hi 21,000 ania loss side hi ezange 1260 plus 4200 1890 kan loss side hi engzat in kan gain side hi 21,000 ania loss side hi 7350 ania hey gain side hi 21,000 ania loss side hi 7350 kan gain side atam zo katro omje chu there is a profit engzange profit chu minus 21,000 13650 13650 kan siat chu debit le credit side should always be equal kan teatro a difference to 13650 hai this minus this the difference is 13650 hei hi kan profit ania tro achan chu kan gain side tam zo ka to profit and thing kan close thin kha by transferring the profit or loss to partners capital account tro profit awma hei hi partners capital account akan transfer ang to profit transferred ab less c all ratio akan transfer ang achan chu adjustment kan siam hi partner tha lut ba ania all ratio akan sem thin ani hei revaluation profit or loss to all ratio akan sem ngi tu inge all ratio 6 is to 5 is to 4 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 sem chinang 6 10 15 divided 6 to 5 4 or 13650 16 is sorry that is one or 5 is to 4 is to 6 is to sorry kat is wal siung to 6 is to 5 is to 3 tur okay 6 is to 5 is to 3 13650 into 6 divided by 14 to 5850 5850 4875 2925 tikhan kan revaluation account kan close to tina hey a profit kan transfer to partners capital account in sim khu tu chu partners capital account kan sim do na tro hey hi partners capital account na dangi ngai achan chu partner hing om to tro om je chu partners capital account na kan transfer tina le only to tro revaluation chu next question in partners capital account na ti chong la ba ma se kan sim thawang partners capital account partner pathum ania pakhat a join le do na tro pali यही particulars A, B, C, D. Particulars A, B, C, D. Le account ania tro account hian rule anei dona account hian rule anei dona tro eng rule nge ne yang koi to he line hi ko em ai te win ti lo lo tro na he chuang lo lo zero le partners capital account kan siam dona account kan siam peng in rule hi nge kan thi thiam bai partners capital account partners capital hi nge business tan liability ania class 12 accountancy a chon mo rule pathum kan thiam chon kan thre thiam chon 80% of accountancy is done rule thum kan thre thiam chon 80% of accountancy is done assets rule liabilities rule and nominal account rule adang eng ma enangai lo okay so kan hriat le tur chu mo asset sorry account kan siam hian mo business point of view atang kan thlir don ani eng account poni se business point of view atang kan thlir don ani we will always think from the viewpoint of the business le business tan hian partners capital partner ten capital an tho hi inge kan tia liability ani business tan chuan liability ania liability kan tina chan hi nge atopa mo partner ten capital an tho le an account na an capital account na balance omza thi kan peklet ngi ngi ngai when kan ti chuan retirement on death or dissolution hi second term injir don ani admission injir tonga retirement death and dissolution entertainment partners ten poisa an tho hi chuan partners ten poisa an tho le an account na poisa om kha balance atopa balance om kha kan peklet ngi ngai deficiency account te po injera nga khachu future studies further studies injer dona class 12 pa chon injer don la deficiency account te hi partners capital deficiency account te po china dissolution ate mase forget about that. What you have to understand now is for the business partners capital is a liability kan pek let ngi ngai ni. Okay, so liability anya partners capital account hi liability ani chon liability account hian rule ani ni liabilities account will always have credit balance liabilities account will always have credit balance ja chu opening balance hi credit side ta kan da ngai ni an account na balance hi opening balance hi credit side ta kan da ngai ni. Okay, so inge an opening inge an account balance hi 57,000 48,000 and 24,000 57 48 le 24 di chuan eng mani la bang atro achan chu partner la ni la pa. Okay, so next le rule kan thathiam le partners capital account is a liability account. Liabilities will always have credit balance. Credit side akan ziak to hey debit side anya hey credit side le ja chu liabilities will always have credit balance. So whenever the value of liability increases, can liability, business liability, or business point of view, atang kan sirang. Business tan liability apung chuan, credit side akan danga. Business tan liability apung chuan, credit side akan danga. Kan liability at niyam chuan, debit side akan danga. Into the mem. Kan liability value apung chuan, debit side akan danga. Kan liability value at niyam chuan, sorry, kan liability value apung chuan, credit side akan danga. A value at niyam chuan, debit side akan da partners capital account kan siam don ni tro ja chu partners capital account hi apung chuan credit side item ka credit side akan da nga an niam ani chuan debit side akan da entertainment partners ten item hutur zong zong hi credit side akan da achan chu an account akan da do na tro an account akan da chuan an account value an account balance kha apung do na entertainment credit side akan da do ni an account atang lak chho chuan and then an drawings te thea loss te thea tro an account value an account balance an hiam ani chuan debit side akan da le he kan thetiam. Okay, now partners capital account kan siam do na tro. Now let's search for the information for partners. Goodwill, existing goodwill omlapa reserves thing ma omlapa tro le they agreed to take D into partnership and give him 1/8 on the following terms. Say chu kan lamang tang kai lo ni. Okay, now partners information che kan zong do ni le that D bring in 12,600 as goodwill and 21,000 as his capital. Kan chet chu partner thara lu tang atro partner thara an lut piang in capital le goodwill an keng lut don ani capital chu an capital account akan transfer nga goodwill chu sacrificing partners capital account akan transfer thin ani. Okay, lecture YouTube aka da tho mo concept of goodwill tinge partner tharin goodwill keng lut ngi ngi tu kan ti hi ka explain detail de win ka explain in low end don nya. Okay, le now let's analyze this partner in capital akeng lut to na tro partner thar anya d anya partner thar lut do na capital le goodwill akeng lut do na ni goodwill cho premium kan ti me extra paisa akeng lut don capital 21,000 akeng lut anga goodwill cho 12,600 le capital hi a capital account akan transfer ang this capital account akan transfer ang analyze le lokang account akan transfer do na tro business point of view atang kan che chon business tan liability apung do na ni paisa lu tanga chon liability po pung do na ni tro partners capital account akan dang pung chuan credit side akan dang ai tro by cash account cash titro cash account po tingal by cash in tiang din paisa keng lu tanga a capital account na kan transfer ang 21,000 entertainment easy. Next goodwill hi din goodwill akeng luta tro 12,600 akeng luta he hi khoyang kan transfer ang we will transfer this to sacrificing partners capital account tunge sacrificing partner kan enanga an account akan transfer donani entertainment tunge sacrificing partners kan enanga an account akan transfer donani in which ratio tahen rule pakhat o ma rule kan thre thiamang le tinge sar sacrificing partners are kan transfer thin question in nei chuan youtube concept of goodwill tin kada concept of goodwill in en nge don nya le sacrificing partner account akan transfer don atro goodwill amount ka eng ratio ang sar kan transfer ang student tam tak hian mo all ratio and transfer thina anzir dan chu school anzir dan chu new ratio and question in new ratio min thil lo chon all ratio as a meru anti thina mo adik reng the ratio is same all ratio le sacrificing ratio in ang reng don masimo exam in boyang chon nakinzela po concept in boyang okay sacrificing partners then exact sharing and sacrifice ti kanena nga share anxiety and sacrifice ti kanena nga kami ratio goodwill chu kan transfer don ni an account into the chon tahen mo rule ma distribution of goodwill tahen easy akula distribution of goodwill premium kan tiang le new goodwill partner thari new goodwill keng lu tur hen ting kan semang let's understand this rule number 1 rule number 1 chu always in the sacrificing ratio always in the sacrificing ratio partner tharin goodwill keng lu thi sacrificing ratio akan transfer nge tur okay okay sacrificing ratio formula inge kha old minus new or zondan big oma question akan discuss don nya nakin zela le rule number 2 chu or rule number 2 chu or okay let's understand this or if the old ratio and new ratio of all partners is same all partner te an old ratio le an new ratio tur hi ain ang chuan changes an ratio a change lo chuan all ratio akan transfer to pang hei rule pani ania hei sha thiamula concept is clear concept will be clear okay first kan tur chu an all ratio le an new ratio hi ain angem or hei kan boi mai the ni ta hen hei rule number 1 ti taila hei rule number 1 kan tiang rule number 1 chuan rule number 2 chu in the tikhan sia karo rule number 2 if rule number 1 is not applicable always in the sacrificing ratio hei rule anya okay kanen tur chu all partners te an all ratio le new ratio ain ang hem ain ang chuan all ratio kan sem to pang okay ain ang lo chuan sacrificing ratio kan zong entertainment let's see this question tahan and taila tahan information min pe hai then after making adjustments the capital accounts of the all partners hai be adjusted on the basis of the proportion of this capital tro mase hi here taula tikan siarula that after making adjustments the capital account of all partners who continue to share in the same proportion as before who continue to share in the same proportion as before to partner thara lut pon an ratio an proportion kan thak labang to all partners all ratio and new ratio will be same proportion as before in a same proportion to 6:5:3 hemi ratio an la sem don ni hemi ratio an sem charcha to don okay there is no change in the ratio between the all partners entertainment so if this is the case partner thar in premium keng lut hi all ratio akan sem to pang okay entertainment easy le partner tharin premium goodwill aking lut hi partners capital account sacrificing partners capital account akan transfer dona ni tro AB le C an account akan transfer dona an account value apung dona ni tro premium tur kha an account akan da dona an account value apung don chuan credit side akan da tro by premium le zange 12,600 6 is to 5 is to 3 3 in kan semango 5400 4500 2700 le le easy 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 very easy next premium can transfer to a revaluation information and yeah then after making the adjustments okay hey then after making adjustments the capital account oh hey you can explain now hey adjustment information and yeah okay John adjustment kan zo tro pakhat transfer to allow ma partners capital account na profit revaluation atang profit kan nei hi kan transfer liang tro hey an ming kan ziak to tro an ming kan ziak to chuan kan transfer ngi ngi ai ni okay le profit ania profit partners capital account na kan transfer do no tro an account value an account balance apung do na credit side akan dang tro by revaluation account kan tiang ohenzange 5850 5850 4875 2925 le tekan kan zawatro le now let's come to the main part main part le point number F kan siarang that after making adjustments after making this adjustment adjustments same ton huwa oh kan siam vek to adjustments yes then after making adjustments the capital accounts of the old partner who continue to share in the same proportion as before be adjusted on the basis of the proportion of this capital to his share in the business. Oh, capital adjustment capital adjustment case number 1 taking new partners capital and new partners share as base. He can now adjustment of capital calculation of total capital of the new firm or entity to calculation of adjusted capital taking new partners taking these capital and share as base. Oh, nè, đây cần trách nhiệm main cần analyze lo ka. Dễ mo. Capital adjustment question ni lau ta se. Partners capital ada tu dang to lo tro. Ti kan close stop thei to ni account hi. Anyem balance kan jong kum to pa balance kan jong thei to. 57,000 plus 5400 plus 5850. A2 68250 tu tro. 48,000 plus 4500 plus 4875 57 375 rania. Oh, see here 24,000 plus 2700 plus 2925 29625 21. Capital adjustment question to nilaw se. Capital adjustment question to nilaw se. He anyang tro. He anyang helai hi kan belanga helai item jan kan minus anga tro. Jon atopa balance kan jong don ani. He balance sheet new balance sheet akan damage ina tro. Normal question achon mase capital adjustment question achon antopa balance cd hi atopa balance cd kan zong hi kan adjust don ani kan siam that don oh in proportion to their share he solve potila oh ton kan that hiam don ne okay or oh he kan siap lo kong tahan 68250 5737529625 ole. Okay, let's solve this first, then we will come back. He adjusted capital kan so oh taking C's capital as D's capital as base. D's capital chu paisa tholu hi 21,000 tro. A capital che kan na a capital amount capital tool paisa keng lu chau kha kan na le a share hi en zang le this share hi 1 by 8 tro a share hi 1 by 8 ania 1 by 8 tro 1 by 8 le total capital kan so business total capital of the firm cho A B C le D a new capital tour kan zong don ani oh adjustment ani le 21,000 this capital to 21,000 ania a share chu 1 by 8 ania tro total capital kan zong dona reciprocal kan ti don ani oh 8 by 1 chu en zang ani 21,000 into 8 chu rupees 1,68,000 he A B C le D capital anya closing capital balance CD tour he oh le this is the adjusted capital oh le kan sem tong he 1,68,000 atang D capital kan share tro D's capital chu 21,000 anya John D capital kan to A B le C capital A B and C's capital kan zong them adjusted kan tiang oh yes 1,68,000 hi total anya total atang D capital swak tai la 1,47,000 he A B le C an new capital tura nya balance CD tura hi oh he kan sem dona new capital ani chuan new ratio akan sem dona tro new capital ani chuan new ratio akan sem dona new ratio is what 653 question in who continue to share in the same proportion as before at yatro who continue to share in the same proportion as before hey lo siarula oh chu an new ratio le old ratio ain angani chu oh le is adjusted capital. In this one, capital top point it here. Oh, it's fine, no issue. 653. 6 by 14. B's adjusted capital so 5 by 14. C's adjusted capital so 1,47,000 into 3 by 14. 63,000. 5,2,5,0,0. 31,500. Hey, unbalanced CD ani atro. So D po siya kila. This capital chu kan threto atro. This capital chu 21,000 ania. Dikhan 1,68,000. Oh, hey nge balance CD ani. Balance CD tharani. Adjusted capital ania hey. Oh, le. Balance CD chu 63,000 for A. 52500. 31,500. Le 21,000. Le. So kan siya chu debit and credit side should always be equal kan tetro. Helahi equal ngi tur kan tia. Okay, le 57,000 plus 5400 plus 58,502 68250 helam hi 68250 anya helam po hi 68250 tur tro this will be 57375 57375 29625 29625 D hi chu 21,000 anya helai po hi 21,000 eng ma difference om lo tro D a chuan D B ka chuan eng ma difference om lo helai hi 21 ania hi po hi 21,000 tho tro le masimo tahen kan sim phura ngai ni oh helai hi helam hi anula debit side hi 63,000 ania tro ma se kan credit side total hi zange 68250 difference allow matro difference allow ma enzang difference 68250 minus 63,000 to 5250 here difference anya b hi 57375 minus 52500 this minus this 4875 tikhan bel chiaula he hemi pan hi bel chiaula 57375 aniang see hi 24625 see hi anula credit side hi aur hi adiklo see adiklo hey credit side a total hi 29625 ania mase kan debit side total hi 31500 kan debit side atamzo katro kan debit side atamzo ka debit side atamzo ka 31500 le debit side atamzo ka chuan credit side a balance don ani tro by kan tianga enzang balance le helam hi 31500 chuan sorry debit side is 31500 31500 and the credit side is this 29625 le enzang difference 1875 tikhana dik siang tro tikhan kan total debit side le credit side total ai amil don chia tikhan le kan thathiamang hi a difference to to tro a difference to balancing figure chu kan nei to hemi difference hi engwangin nge hi kan thathiamang hemi difference hi engwangin nge hi kan thathiamang le han en sinula hi nge kha hi kan calculate kha actual capital balance ania tro adjustment lo ta se adjustment lo ta se unbalance cd turania tro hi unbalance cd turania adjustment lo ta se ab le c tro le adjustment lo ta se un capital balance tur hi 68250 ania tro 68250 ma se adjusted capital hi anula 63000 ania tro ab hi a hi 68250 atang a capital hi 63 a kanda totro kan ti niam to ni a capital kha kan ti niam to ni tro a capital kan ti niam to ni hey debit side kan dana chan chunya un capital balance an niam chuan debit side kan danga un capital balance a pung chuan un capital account a pung chuan credit side kan dang an account an niam chuan debit side kan dang an account kan ti niam to tro debit side a difference su kan zia kani hi inge kan thiam ngai hey an account na poisa chu 63000 68250 ania 68250 ania tro hi an actual capital balance ania hi an capital balance tur ania mase kan siam chato tro 63000 a kan da to ni an capital balance hey an capital balance kan ti niam to ni je chu an account na extra poisa kha kan refund to don ti na ni chu kan pelet to don ti na ni chu an account na extra poisa 5250 hi kan pelet to don intratiam adjustment of capital poisa extra an tho ani chuan kan pelet ang hi kan thethiam ang in proportion to the ratio ti bel kha kan thethiam ang okay le just question hi ani lamo there is hi helai sharula who continue to be adjusted on the basis of proportion of this capital to his share in the business, that is actual cash to be paid off or brought in by the all partners as the case may be. Chu difference chuan cash in kan achil sang. An account na extra poisa chuan cash in kan pele tanga an account na poisa claim ni chuan an capital a claim ni chuan an tho belang cash in an tho belang. Entratiam le hi to cash refund kan tiang an capital account na poisa extra kha kan refund to kan pelet to tina le b hi analyze le taila a actual capital balance tur chu hi ni tro account na balance chu hi ni ma se and ro account balance kan ti claim to ni tro kan adjust to kan ti claim to ni ja chu an account na extra poisa kha kan refund to don kan pelet to don le si hi account actual balance chu 29625 ania ma se adjustment of capital la chuan 31500 ania tro a capital hi kan ti sang to ni je chu poisa keng lut don additional poisa keng lut don a capital la poisa a claim a exact ni a claim 18750 a keng lut turani cash in a keng lut cash account additional capital kan tiang oh additional capital kan tiang brought in additional capital oh hei partners capital account chu nia oh partners capital account ania hei this is done account is completed mase sar inge adjustment hi intinge an adjust thin intinge an analyze thin in thredu chuan hei in endonia or in thredu lo cho hei sar kan du tok me ang in ti chuan you can fast forward oh in fast forward anga in ignore me donia oh le sethiam du tan kan analyze ang le a b le c actual balance CD kan nga ten kan analyze ang oh le actual balance CD chu en jang e kha hei hi tro an share a million mo adjustment kan siam don ani an share a million an amount hi adjustment kan siam don oh le a b le c hei an actual balance ania tro chuan an share hi 6:5:3 tro hei number ni ta se unit number angin analyze ang number angin omja chu share paruk ane share panga ane share pathum ane tin kan analyze ang chuan d po hi kan da ngai don ni actual chu 21,000 tho ania tro 21,000 a keng luta 21,000 oh 21,000 new ratio hi mo 6:5:3 ania in solve me don ni hi chu in du chuan 6:5:2 ania new ratio le kan analyze lo kang taking this capital as base d capital share base adjustment kan siam doni tro this capital a share base kan da nga adjustment kan siam doni oh le entinan kan analyze dan tu chumo d hen 21,000 a tho tro hei investment ni ta se oh hei an poisa thozat ni ta se oh hei poisa thozat ni ta se hei an share ni ta se okay din poisa tho chu 21,000 ania 21,000 a tho tro share nei chu 2 ania oh din poisa tho hi 21,000 ania share nei chu pahni share pakhat hi leidu ta se oh share pakhat hi leidu ta se share pakhat leidu ta se ezange thonga yang 21,000 divided by 2 will be 10,500 tro share pakhat nei nan poisa thongai chu 10,500 ania tro share pahni ania share pakhat hi 10,500 manani ta se share pahni ania tro poisa thotu chu 21,000 oh hi thotur itaila oh THWH aniam spelling thotur chu 21,000 an thozat chu hi ni ta se oh le c hi analyze ang d capital hi base akan la zelang oh hi base akan la zelang c in share nei chu pathum ania tro share pakhat hi 10,500 manania share pathum le du chuan he hingor oh tikhan share pathum le du chuan ezang ya thonga yang 10,500 tro athan chu share pakhat hi 10,500 manania poisa a thotur chu ezang e 31,500 hei hei a thotur ania adjusted capital ani me all something we can analyze the oh hey poisa thosu a poisa thotur chu hei hi nia oh le b kan analyze ang b hian share panga ani atro chuan share pakhat hi 10,500 manania poisa sang e thotur le 52,500 in proportion to their share an share a million an capital kan adjust don ani intratiam chuan a hi share paruk ani atro share pakhat hi 10,500 ni ta se 10,500 hi chu d capital ani atro a balance a base akan la ani d capital hi base akan la question in la roaming tetro base akan la ti kan analyze ani oh le 63,000 thotur chunia tro 63,000 thotur ania le thì kan also de win kan explain kan analyze the le an share a million kan adjust to tro he an share a million poisa an tho tur za thi kan siam dik to ni intre mem he hi ni an tho poisa an tho hi nia ma se an tho tur chu he hi nia oh adjustment in proportion to their share an share a million poisa an tho tur chu he hi nia and thing kan calculate he taking these capital as base d capital base akan la chuan he kan siam dik to ni intre mem this will be their balance cd this will be their new balance cd he new balance cd turania adjusted capital kan ti chu ni he oh intre mem easy le kan analyze lo kang poisa an tho tur hi an zange 63,000 ania tro chuan a in poisa tho tur chu 63 ania poisa tho hi an zange 68250 a tho hnem tro poisa tho hnema he kan refund de ang kan pelet de ang he cash account in poisa in kan pelet de ang inti mem account na poisa tamatro poisa tho hnema kan pelet ang kan refund de ang a capital kha extra capital kha b analyze ang a capital tur hi zange 52,500 tur ania ma se 57375 au matro 57375 minus a capital a tho hne matro 4875 a tho hne ma he kan refund de ang inti mem easy to analyze kan kha thim chan all lu tu le see hi capital tho tur chu 31,500 ania ma se enzang tho 29625 a tho tle matro poisa a tho tle ma tho tur chu enzang 31500 ania a tho chu 29625 le a tho tle matro hi poisa keng lu tang additional poisa a difference hi 1875 he a keng lu tang instead mem he refund ania nga he refund ania nga he additional a keng lu tang to be brought in by the partner C. D chueng mai a tho tu chu 21 ania tho po 21 ain amil tro no difference om lo chon eng ma adjustment ngai lo inthetem he adjustment of capital chunya eng ma bai ha turum lo inthetem chu up an account na paisa extra om ka kan refund de don ni kan pelet de don chon C chu akeng lutang account na paisa tle matro akeng lutang inthetem easy lutuk easy lutuk le let's make balance sheet quickly balance sheet kan siamo zona nei chon mo min zo trang the ka number ania zona nei chuan 7005721165 min zo trang the ni whatsapp min call lo la call hi kala pe vak ngai lawa min message la whatsapp lo chang meng chewo balance sheet kan siamo new balance sheet of new firm balance sheet upon boy china no pa mo balance sheet po kan boy lo ngo balance sheet of new firm to a b c le d and balance sheet kan siam don ani le balance sheet po analyze da no mo confusing theilu to ka no pangtan ma se all someday win kan analyze ang balance sheet hi balance sheet thar kan siam don ani balance sheet aton inge kan da thin asset liabilities tro chon partners capital balance kan da thina aniam partners capital po liability ne liability side kan da thin tro assets le liabilities kan da thina tro new balance sheet chu kan all someday win kan siam dan tur chu question kan en to la pang adjustment kan en to la pang old balance sheet le revaluation account kan en anga old balance sheet le revaluation account kan en anga new balance sheet kan CM don ani all balance sheet an old value an asset liability old value kan ne ang tro chuan revaluation account na chuan adjustment changes in assets and liabilities kan ne ang tro chu add assets loss ani chuan kan minus anga gain ani chuan kan plus ang liabilities gain ani chuan kan minus anga loss ani chuan kan add ang tikan all someday when kan analyze thei le first copy paste the old balance sheet hi kan copy paste photang he kan copy paste photang amount lowin item cho hi aming cho hi kan copy paste photang le land and building furniture stock space ka dana chan ka silang so kin da khir ngai lo nung chon debtors are provision kan ni atro chon cash ani mai cash account a chan pain kan siam ngai le first capital kan da capital kan da tu first a chon a b c le d hei a new capital tu rania new capital and capital balance an account ngai balance balance sheet akan transfer thin ani tro then creditors and bills payable kan copy paste phatang tikhan inti swal lawang exam ba tikhan achan chuma question kan enlet hian thil hi kan miss out thina kan film khuranga le new balance sheet kan siam do na tro old balance sheet le revaluation account chau kan nga new balance sheet kan siam do na ni amount hi kan copy paste to amount hi kan copy paste to cash to asan pain kan siam do na tro cash to copy paste lo la hi explain nan in du chuan copy paste lo mai ro en mai ro in du chuan le land building hi all value 72,000 ania tro all value 72,000 ania le adjustment adjustment ti kan en don en ti kan nang revaluation account kan nang kan shame don ni tro le revaluation account na land and building ti yes matro he 21,000 gain side kan da tro gain side kan da je chu kan asset value apung ti na tro 21,000 in apunga kan gain do na tro gain ani chuan kan belang kan edang new balance sheet plus 21,000 72,000 plus 21,000 to 93 brought up to 93,000 minti khatro en nangai tolo adjustment en nangai tolo all balance sheet le revaluation account chau kan en don ani le furniture kan nang furniture all value hi 10,500 ania 10,500 hey exam achon ziak kher ngai lo hey exam ziak kher ngai lo just to make you understand on how you will analyze le furniture kan nang adjustment yes adjustment matro hey loss side akan da tro loss side akan da je chu there is a loss ani chan kan minus to ni 1260 tro 1260 minus 1260 tikhan kan analyze anga all sum de win balance sheet kan siam the stock all value hi nge 42,000 tro 42,000 le a value increase and decrease kan nang le stock yes stock matro hey loss side kan da tro je chu kan minus anga kan asset loss ani chan kan minus zelang tro 4200 all tuk tikhan ma mistake kan nei lawang exam apo 37800 37800 le debtors hi 37800 nya 37800 tro debtors to 37800 le provision mem loss future akan loss to mem yes say provision for doubtful debts matro hi kan loss to ran ya loss side kan da tro future kan loss to ran ya hi kan record pa lang 1890 1890 cash account to asan pain kan siam don ani le easy 37800 minus 1890 35910 all lutuk tro tikhan hai hen ro all sam de win siam the cash account to asan pain kan siam don ya to pa le chon next kan en tur chumo asset thar mem new asset mem tikan na land and building sa tro new assets lo furniture sa stock po sa tro he chu debtors po sa ja chu there is no new asset tro new asset lo chuan kan ignore thei tro le cash account chu to pa capital account hi kan transfer phatang capital account atang capital balance kum to pa capital balance hi kan transfer phatang 63,000 52500 31500 21,000 total to 1,68,000 anya tro capital in ziak phatang the rule is capital then after that liabilities will come asset side that one fixed assets then current assets then fictitious assets le creditor is kana all value hingele all value here 27 anya bills payable 9,000 27 and 9,000 27 and 9,000 27 and 9,000 tro chon kanen tur chu changes om dia kanen nang revaluation account kanen nang oh creditors le bills payable a changes om creditors bills payable in zong dona creditors le bills payable maum lo batro om ja chu there is no change in the liabilities into so it will be the same value a value kan thak na ba easy it will be 27 and it will be 27 and 9,000 27 and 9,000 okay all to kani oh tikhan kan balance sheet ateli anga full mark kan hudon ani cash account kan la siam nga ya tro cash account all someday win kan siam oh cash is a asset will always have debit balance cash is a asset will always have debit balance hey rule anya cash is a asset will always have debit balance oh debit side a balance om don ani opening balance to debit side ta mga balance BD kan teatro inge opening balance le 2700 2700 chuan rule chu asset will always have debit balance omja chu whenever the value of asset increases debit side akan dang asset value apung chuan debit side akan dang a value an hiam chuan credit side akan dang inchitem asset value apung chuan credit side akan debit side akan dang a value apung chuan debit side akan dang an hiam chuan credit side akan dang cash account hi en lokang cash account hi en lokang poisa ni atro business a poisa lu chuan a value account a balance a punga nga tro a poisa chok chuan debit side a credit side kan da a niam do na credit side kan da do na ni le question en angai to lo revaluation le partners capital account kan en nga cash account kan siam the do ni okay revaluation account hi enula cash ti omem cash ti om lo batro cash ti eng mam lo ba om ja chu there is no cash transaction in revaluation account cash om lo batro cash eng ma kan se boy lo tina revaluation eng ma cash che tom lo le kan capital account na om to tro capital account na cash om that le cash kan zong he hi nge first cash chu d is capital account na om tro he nge kha din poisa keng lut khania tro he capital tur keng lut khania tro 21,000 poisa lutem yes poisa lutem yes kan cash balance apungem poisa lut chon business point of view tang thirula poisa lut tang tro business kan cash balance apungem yes 21,000 alu tro he heng tur nge to C is capital C in capital akeng luta goodwill po akeng luta ni tro goodwill hen sang akeng lut kha 12,600 akeng luta tro tahan mistake om thinani tahan in film khur he ngai tahan no pangten an ti sual thinani he film khur he ngai he en ro partners capital account he enula he nge partner tharin premium tur goodwill tur keng lut khanya tro he aniam partner in goodwill keng lut goodwill akeng lut tro he a b le c account akan transfer tro cash ania he le journal entry in thiamang in la boy chon journal entry in kan thiamang journal entry chuinge business point of view atang kan thirangai cash account debited to seize capital to premium tro entry kan pass thinchu 21,000 capital akeng luta 12,600 goodwill akeng luta tro a total in exam paisa lut 33,600 hey akeng lut tur ania hey akeng lut chunia hey business a paisa lut chu 33,600 cash account will always have debit balance whenever the value of cash increases whenever the value of asset increases debit the asset account hey entertainment a rule hi le hey belula 33,600 cash account na paisa lut chu 21,000 for capital and 12,600 for premium hey tayan an mistake thin tayan anti solve for thin hey simple hero silly mistake atam thenia le next cash kan zong le he kan pass to cash pakhat om le tro hey sin hey nge kha sin cash akeng lu tur khania tro account balance atlema poisa akeng lu don hey additional capital tur ania hey keng lu tur ania tro akeng lu ngal cash kan mang ngal chon keng lu ngal tina 1875 le poisa lu tang tro debit side akan dang to C's capital account 1875 he additional capital kan tiang additional capital kan lutang easy easy le next tahan cash o matro he nge kha refund tro a le b account na paisa extra kha kan pele don kan refund don cash in kan refund kha langa tro achan chu question in min thila oh any difference that is actual cash to be paid off or brought in by the all partners as the case may be actual cash to be paid off je chu an account na extra capital chon kan pay anga oh brought in je chu an account na paisa athiam chu atle mani chon an capital kha an keng lu tang brought in entertainment cash kan hong don ni cash in kan adjust kha lang oh hey an account na extra paisa khan tro hey kan refund de ang oh kan refund ani chon paisa chuak nga tro paisa chuak chon credit side kan dang by A's capital account by B's capital account. Paisa chuak chon kan account balance an hiam do na tro credit side kan dang oh 5250 4875 oh le jang closing balance information item dang am tolap tu question and right all ni chu oh question kan in boy tolap ang into the they can also do in CMT boy ren reng su by balance CD chu 28050 inset here inset him hey to record an live class ni laba kazo thelaba oh inset him to rakangai oh this is the closing balance so this will go to the balance sheet 29050 le tikhan kan balance sheet ateli thengem kananang oh oh kabahan thiam kabahan thiam assets and liability side is equal you get solid marks for this easy easy dark car khatle chan level kan mang tonia question pa khata ringot oh detail de win ka explain thina ke cho exam point of view atang ani laba mo exam point of view atang ka sirtir ngai lo real life point of view takin se a future a point mang char char don accountancy page mo and then accounts department na nine hotro accountant nai huwa accounting information accounts knowledge in lo chon it will be very tough for you in this world na oh but a rule a journal entry is passed down in Shethiam John. Accountancy accounts job is done. You will for sure get asan chumo real life John. Account ledger account capital account kan sim ngai lo. Journal entry cha kan pass train. Tele software mo entry chau kan pass anga. Oh entry tele or busy kan mang chida. Journal entry chau kan pass anga and then on cash account to hey entry ka pass atro. Cash account debited to C's capital account kan tiang. Hey entry chau hi kan pass anga amai na post train ledger oh engma siambo ngai tolo journal entry chau hini me entry hi poi molu tuk oh entertainment question number 27 kan zawa next question number 28 kan nang oh le question here let's read the question first of all kan entur chu inge requirement tro requirement of the question is pass journal entries. Requirement of the question is give journal entries to record the above and prepare balance sheet or balance sheet after sees admission. Ledger accounts are not required. Tetro exam a question so say ledger account kan siam lawang. Oh ledger account kan siam lawang. Oh Umjetu revaluation account kan siam ngai lawanga. Revaluation account kan siam ngai lawanga. Partners capital account kan siam ngai law bokang. Oh exam a chon. Masemo partners capital account hi kan siam ngi don ni working note kan siam ngi don. Achan chumo capital adjustment ani mo in this walang. Okay. We will make it quickly then we will solve. Oh, John balance sheet le. Journal entries kan now first of all. Okay. Let's see this. A and B are partners in a firm, sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2, and all ratio to 3:2. Their balance sheet was as follows on 1st Jan 2011. Throw balance sheet in paya hai. Capital, creditors, capital, general reserve, plant, patent, stock, debtors, cash. C is admitted as a partner on the above date on the following terms. He will pay 30,000 as goodwill for 1/4 share in the profits of the firm. The assets are to be valued as under. Assets can revalue dona. Plant 96,000, stock 54,000, debtors provision 5% can see mga. It was found that the creditors included sum of 4200 which was not to be paid. Okay. 60,000 as capital. C in capital keng lutanga. So an adjustment can see dona ni. Oh, so a difference to current account na can transfer. Okay. Let's solve this question quickly. Journal entry. First of all, balance sheet and liability side ahian general reserve matro he nge general reserve hi nge kan thiam photangai general reserve je chu profit kan da that khania. Oh, general reserve is the profit kept aside. Profit kept aside. Kan profit atang athen kan da tha tro kan da that na than hi nge future a paisa kan mo thea entilan business a paisa kan mo tro profit kan ni zong zong hi partners a sem taila next year emo future a paisa mo taila khui tang nge kan ne yang tro partner te paisa capital deal bel anga nga emo loan kan la ka nga nga tro loan la kai chon partners te capital deal bel ai chon profit kan nei hi profit da thatila paisa kan mo chon profit kan mang me do ni tro chu general reserve kan da that na chan chu nia. Okay, hey hi partners hey hi profit atang da thatania tro profit atang da thatania tu profit atang nge da that ai hi a le b unprofit atang da thatania tro C alu to dona new partner C alu to dona tro C lu pa general reserve profit kan da thi kan sem nge ngai oh question in min thil lo jon adjustment vel min thil lo jon kan sem nge ngai between A and B unprofit share atang da thatania tro A and B kan semang he A and B an account na kan da ang he oh in which ratio in the old ratio oh le journal entry kan thi among journal entry question number 28. Journal entries. Oh, okay. First of all, let's go with the question. Oh, exam on you can have any order, it's fine. Oh, general reserve consent. Oh, what will be the journal entry? General reserve account debited to is capital account to B's capital account. Ka explain answer, don't worry. Oh, let's write the narration. Being general reserve credited to A and B's capital account. Being general reserve credited to A and B's capital account. Oh, le. Kancha thiamang. Balance sheet a general reserve oh matro. Liability side a general reserve kan nei chu enjang ya. 30,000 anya. Oh, le. General reserve hi liability side a oh matro. Kancha chu liabilities will always have credit balance. Liabilities will always have credit balance. Liability and credit balance and ito matro. Umja chu general reserve ahian credit balance 30,000 oh matro. General reserve account siyam taila. Credit side balance to 30,000 anya. Tro debit credit 30,000 anya. General reserve paisa hi kan sem chuak to dona. Tro omja chu general reserve account hi kan close to don dinani chu. Kan khar to don kan close to don tro. Debit credit side 30,000 oma kan close do chuan debit side po 30,000 kan ta nga nga tro credit side 30,000 om sa kan close do tro kan close do chuan balance hi zero turania balance eng ma do turania tro balance zero turania debit side 30,000 da chi aila balance zero to ngem yes hey debit is equal to credit the balance is zero balance eng ma to labang tro balance cd eng ma to labang asan chu debit side and credit side is equal oh Omja chu general reserve kan debit anga kan close du chuan kan debit anga ya tro hei general reserve account kan debit exact nge kan debit 30,000 in kan debit oh credit balance ne ya 30,000 in kan debit tro hei credit balance ne ya 30,000 kan debit che hian account kan close tro hei entinge khoyang kan transfer ang partners capital account kan transfer ang A and B capital account kan transfer ang oh A and B capital account kan transfer ang all ratio kan transfer do ni all ratio hinge 3:2 all partners te share tur ania tro hi all ratio akan semang 3:2 in kan semang 18,000 and 12,000 le intrethiam general reserve account kan debit to tro debit na chan chu intrethiam to 18,000 a account akan credit anga 12,000 b account akan credit ang a le b in general reserve amount andong do na tro an account akan transfer nga general reserve hinge profit da thatania profit ania tro it's past profits kept aside tro profit an account akan transfer to do na an account balance apung don nge hiam don ti kan analyze photang profit ani chuan an account balance apung nga tro an account balance apung chuan khoi kan dang credit side akan da don ni credit side of partners capital account omje chu partners capital account hi kan credit angai he kan credit em tikhan yes general reserve account debited to partners capital account tikhan an account kan credit tikhan general entry kan pass ani easy next entry number 2 entry number 2 goodwill existing goodwill lo patro partner thar information kan na partner thar in poisa keng lut tur hi enjange he will pay 30,000 as goodwill for 1/4 share premium goodwill to keng lut tatro 30,000 cash in a keng lut don he will pay at yatro a pay don tina cash in a keng lut don tina 30,000 he goodwill to keng lut then point number 4 he anula C was to introduce 60,000 as capital. And capital of the other partners were to be adjusted. He can explain now. Hey. C was to introduce 60,000 as capital. Poisa keng lutur so 60,000. Hey. Cash keng lutang capital to 60,000 keng lutang. Le. Journal entry kan pasa nga. Business poisa lut dona tro cash lut dona. Cash is an asset. Asset will always have debit balance. Kan asset value apung chuan poisa lutang tro partner tharin poisa keng lutang kan cash balance apung tro then we'll have to debit cash is a asset account whenever the value of asset increases debit the asset account cash account kan debit ang cash account debited cash account debited exam keng lut le 90,000 keng luta 90,000 chen taila capital to keng lut chu 60,000 ania tro chuan premium keng lut hi 30,000 ania khan entry kan pass the to premium 30,000 narration to being amount of capital and goodwill brought by C cash keng lu tatro chuan C's capital account kan credit business point of view atang kan thirang atro business poisa luta eng tur nge hi 90,000 hi nia kan thenanga tro 62 capital turania 32 premium tro 60 capital tur keng lut hi a capital account kan transfer donani tro partners capital account kan transfer anga business point of view atang thirera partner in poisa capital akeng lut tro business tan liability po apungani intrethiam an capital account kan transfer anga he sis capital account kan credit tro a credit side akan dani chon premium hi chu sacrificing partners kan transfer anga tro in which ratio rule pani kan nei tro all partners te an all ratio le new ratio ai nang chuan all ratio akan semanga ni lo jong sacrificing ratio kan jong don ani le concept actual concept ania new ratio tur eng mamin thil la patro sacrificing ratio kan jong sacrificing ratio hemo 3:2 ani thabang it will be same as all ratio ma se concept intrathiam du chuan will always have to distribute in this sacrificing ratio if their old ratio and new ratio is not same le sacrificing ratio kan zong 3:2 ani thodon ni mo ma se kan threthiam du atro kan bai ha du lawa le entry tur hi kan ziak phatang premium account premium hi partners capital account kan transfer to don atro S capital account to B's capital account. Premium hi an account akan transfer to dona A le B account na pung dona tro an account na pung chuan credit side akan da thin ka he A and B capital account kan credit ani ti khan premium account kan close to hey credit side akan da tro poisa lut kan credit side akan da kan debit che hian account po kan close to balance eng maum to lo tina tro debit is equal to credit 60,000 30,000 debit side kan datua credit side 30,000 om sa tro tikhan balance om tolo kan account kan close to tina oh le narration kan ziak being amount of goodwill credited to A and B's cái handwriting to chele tuka ziak kha thei lo re cái handwriting ka improve thei lo re le sacrificing ratio kan zong oh A le B an all ratio hi 3:2 anya tro C share hi an zang le C share is how much C will get 1/4 for 1/4 share tro 1/4 share anya oh 1/4 1 atang 1/4 an ito chuan combined share of A and B and A le B and new share tur hi nge 1 atang total share of the business is 1 kan share tro hi kan ziak ngoro next line next page kan ziak lo A and B all ratio to 3:2 anya tro C share to 1/4 anya oh let the total share of the firm be 1 oh can share to total share of the business is 1 always it will be 1 oh le combined share of A and B kan zong tong 1 atang C in 1/4 ala to chuan enzang e bang 3/4 abang atro 3/4 1 atang 1/4 ala to chuan 1/4 ala to chuan 3/4 abang atro 3/4 balance o mga hei hi A le B share tur ani oh a new share tur A le B in 1 by A le B tan 3/4 abang atro chuan C in 1/4 ala to hei hi solve tai la hei 1 ania intritiamem total share of the business will always be 1 oh le eng ratio ange kan semang hi 3:2 all ratio in kan semang 3/4 hi 3:2 in kan semang the question is silent eng mamin thil lo tra all ratio in kan sem to pang hi oh le is new share 3/4 hi 3:2 in kan semang atro 23 bis new share 3/4 into 2/5 to 6/20 C's new share chu kan share tro 1/4 ania and denominator ay nang lava tro kan chok leang hi oh new PSR of A B and C oh A B C 9/20 is to 6/20 is to 1/4 9:6:5 anya tro 9:6:5 he hi nge he hi an new ratio chu nia oh 9:6:5 le A le B che hi anila sorry he new ratio ania tro sacrificing ratio kan la zon ngai 9:6:5 tikhan kan analyze le the chumo in them tak tak chon he en ro A le B che hi anula A le B chu 9:6 ania tro he hi chokula 3 in kan divide the tro 3:2 hey A le B an old ratio 3:2 ania a new ratio for 3:2 A le B che hi kan en chon in them so if this is the case it will be distributed in the old ratio in them concept hi oh in them indule sacrificing ratio po kan chok thawang oh let's calculate sacrificing ratio formula to old minus new tro is sacrifice enzang an sacrifice old ratio here 3:2 ania new ratio 9:6:5 a2 3/5 minus 9 by enzang yang 9 5 25 aniam 9 10 11 13 14 15 20 I mean 9 plus ante inam to hi calculator kan mangna sal tu mo kan sefek ton ni le ei solve ang 5 4 4 3 is 12 minus 9 2 3/20 b sacrifice here all ratio 2/5 ania new 6/20 tro 8 minus 6 to 2/20 hey and sacrificing ratio hinge 3:2 this is same as all ratio but that doesn't mean that we will distribute in all ratio concept how many oh concept kan thiam zelang ya chuan kan boy zel don ni okay le 3:2 in kan semang hi 3:2. 18,000 there. 12,000. Naman tiya, ma'am? Easy? Easy? Like a rapte doon. Easy. Oh. Okay. Point number 4. Entry number 4. Next thing eh. Partner tharin keng lut kha kan transfer to le revaluation information kana now. The assets are to be valued as under. Then new value to 96 anya, old value 90 anya tro hai. Old value 90 anya, old value 90 anya, new value to 96 tro. Kan asset value apung tro, alhutna apung tro. Business tan gain anya. Engza ting ya apung. 90 atang 96 ani to tro. 6,000 in apunga ani chon ingen yang gain ani ang tro. Kan asset value apung chuan kan debit angai chin tro. Assets rule kan zir to. Assets rule hi kan sethiam lo patawa kan chok main. Assets will always have debit balance. Omja chu kan asset value al hutna apung chuan kan debit anga kan asset hutna tla niam chuan kan credit ang. Liabilities will always have credit balance. Omja chu kan liability value apung chuan kan credit anga kan liability value atla niam chuan kan debit ang. Hey rule hi sethiamula rule pani mo assets and liabilities rule le nominal account rule. 80% of accountancy is done. Rule anime. Oh, everything is about the rule. Point number 4, entry number 4 kan pasang. Kan plan value alhutna apung atro. Asset value apung jon kan debit dona ni. Oh, planned account kan debit anga. Engza tin nge apung 6,000 tro. Hey gain ani chon revaluation account akan transfer thin tro. A difference to revaluation account akan transfer. Hey, revaluation account hi nominal account anya. Nominal account rule so debit all expenses or losses, credit all income or gain. Kan asset value apung atro gain ani chon revaluation credit saita 6,000 kan daw. Easy. Easy. Being increase in the value of plant. Being increase in the value of plant. Oh, easy. Easy. Entry number 5. Stock at 54,000. Stock here 54,000 and a new value. All value to 60. A value at Latnia Matro 60 at wrong. 54 and exacting at Latniam 6,000 in Atlatnia Matro. 6,000 in Atlatniama. Stock is an asset. Whenever the value of asset reduces, we will credit the asset account. Tro 6,000 in kantinya mga chon kan asset anhiam chon loss anya loss ani chon revaluation account kan debitang. Achan chu a rule is what is the rule of revaluation account? Debit all expenses or losses. 6,000 loss kan niya revaluation account kan debit tayang. Insa ma'am? Being the value of stock reduced being anything kan being the value of narration tomorrow in on what issue amlo. Oh, entry number 6. Debtors at book value less a provision of 5% for bad debts. We have to create a provision of 5%. Provision on debtors of 5%. Oh, 54,000 into 5%. Future akan loss to 2700 anya tro. Loss ani chon revaluation account kan debit nga 2700 to provision for bad debts. Tahan mo, kan debtor value at niya matro, debtor account kan credit hello niyo. Asset a value at niya matro, provision kan siya mga, maset debtors kan siya hello na chanchu, kan la loss tak tak law hi. Bad debts an law, provision and future kan loss may thay kan tiya. Kan debtor value alat la niyam law, akla niyam may thay kan tiya, loss may thay kan tiya. Oh, subang chun debtor si any entry ay debtors kan tihim kala bang provision kan siya mga oh nakina kan loss ton adjustment kan siya mga okay debtors kan siya labang provision kan siya kang narration being provision for bad debts, being provided. Being provision for bad debts provided. Entry number 7. Okay. Point number 3. It was found that the creditors included a sum of 4200. It was found that the creditors included a sum of 4200. There is a creditor in this creditor 4200. 45,000 include anichu 45,000 4,500 include. No, it was found that the creditors included a sum of 4200 which was not to be paid. Hemi 45,000 atang 4200 he kan pek angai lo antia which was not to be paid he kan pek angai lo kantia kan creditor kan liability atla niya matron poisa kan pek tur hi 45 ania 45,000 atang 4200 hi kan pek angai to lo antia kan pek angai to lo chon kan tan gain ania business tan gain ania matron chon hi kan share lo kan okay for to he mithleng hi adjustment kan siam patang kan creditor atla niya matro kan creditor atla niya ma kan pek angai to laba tro creditors is a liability will always have credit balance a value increase kan creditor value kan liability value apung ton kan credit nga an hiam chon kan debit don ni tro kan liability a hiama kan debit don ni creditors account debited exact in ye 4200 tro kan liability a hiam chon business tan gain ania gain ani chon revaluation account kan credit ang achan chu a rule is debit all expenses or losses credit all income or gain ania revaluation account kan credit ang narration being an amount of sundry creditors not likely to be paid kan tiang narration to in onward the no issue easy eng ma problem la patro lo turanga yang next but it was also found that there was a liability for compensation to workers amounting to 6,000 but there was also a liability balance sheet hi anula all balance sheet hi anula all balance sheet provision for liability for compensation ti liability in whom amount for compensation liability for compensation ti account eng ma umla patro umje chu liability ala umlo ti na all balance sheet achon ala umlo patro ma se adjustment achon hey it was found that there was a liability thar don ni chu for compensation to workers 6,000 man liability beldon new liability don kan liability apung chuan loss ania tro loss ani chuan revaluation account kan debit ang chuan liability increase dona kan credit ang liability kan credit anga loss ania revaluation account kan debit ang revaluation account debited 6,000 in apung tro liability 6,000 zero atang 6,000 ani to liability increase chuan loss ania tro loss ani chuan revaluation account kan debit ang liability tharania liability value apung tro kan credit ang outstanding or inti kan tiang provision for contingent liability kan tiang in school outstanding compensation compensation to workers liability for compensation it's fine you write any name it's fine contingent liability concept mo ka explain lo meang tu na chono interest hiam lo me the explain lo meang do inject heta chon liability tharania engming po inject no issue okay being provision for contingent liability provided liability thar kan siama easy throw rule kan follow zelang rule ani mai rule in thetiam chon mo all sum the top point number 9 she was to introduce hechu kan dato tro kan zau there ti khang journal entry up to this point kan zau there hey revaluation information to lo patro chon kan shet chu revaluation account hi ngai tuaula assess liability adjustment kan ti thina tro adjustment to nuwa inge kan ti thin kha account kan close thina ni revaluation profit nge loss kan nei ti kan zong thina tro chuan profit or loss chuan partners capital account akan transfer thina ni entertainment account siam mi lovin profit and loss distribute dan kan zirang. Oh, le. Kan siya chu revaluation account debit side is for all loss kan tiang. Oh, debit side is for loss. Credit side is for gains, incomes or gains. Pero debit side ang item nge ti kan nga kan add lang. Oh, pati na. Le. Journal entry number 1 hi ano la. Revaluation ti kan manglaw pero revaluation account ti kan manglaw pa. Nothing in the revaluation account. Point number 2 apo revaluation account kan manglaw pa tro. Point number 3 apo revaluation account kan manglaw pa. Point number 4 yan enroll. Revaluation account hi 6,000 in kan credit atro. Hi 6,000 in kan credit atro. 6,000 kan credit credit side 6,000 kan down. Plus John next revaluation account point number 5 kan debit atro 6,000 in 6,000 in kan debit 6,000 kan ziak putang. Plus calculator point ito no issue. Done le tahan en leula revaluation account kan debit le atro 2700 in loss anya 2700 kan debit side kan edang. Next creditors enila creditors hi ay anya matro revaluation account kan credit 4200 in gain side kan dapat ang. Next account siya mga ito lang. Next revaluation account kan debit le atro 6,000 in revaluation account 6,000 in kan debit le atro tahan 6,000 kan add le nga le information tangom to la ba le debit side yan sang total kan na 14,700 anya debit side akan total chu 14,700 anya credit side akan total chu 10,200 le debit side nge credit side atamzo debit side hi loss side anya tro loss side hi 14,700 anya gain side hi 10,200 kan loss hi atamzo katro engzat nya atam 4500 umja chu there is a loss on revaluation of 4500 entertainment there is a loss of 4500 on revaluation loss on revaluation hey account siam me lawin journal entry atang kan analyze kanan the le journal entry pass taila loss hi khonge kan transfer thin kha partners capital account atro profit hian an account balance ati pung thina loss ani chuan an account balance ati niam don ani tro partners capital account kan ti niam don chuan kan debit anga ya tro an account kan debit anga nga a le b is capital account kan debit anga chuan b is capital account kan debit pokang tro loss ania loss in an account balance ati niam anga tro to revaluation account le 4500 ania all ratio hinge 3:2 ami 3:2 all ratio in kan sem don ani 2700 hai an account chu 2700 in continuum to a account ne b chu 1800 in continuum to entertainment easy revaluation account hi sar gain side easy of the ai tiang yo la hin film khuranga hen ro debit side 4700 anya tro total credit side 10,200 anya revaluation account hi nominal account anya kan close nge nga ya tro omja chu debit le credit side hi I equal to anya aniem what is the total of debit side 14,500 14,700 credit side is 10,200 tro credit side ai hian 4,500 hi dale chi aila tikhan 14,700 14,700 ani to m debit is equal to credit to m yes we have closed the revaluation account so loss chuan credit side 4,500 kan da chi hian debit is equal to credit to tro account kan close to tina being loss on revaluation credited sorry debited kalasi exposé being loss on revaluation debited to A and B's capital account. Revaluation account kan close to. Le working note partners capital account kan siamang he working note nta se space kan dalo kang for two entry space kan dang oh partners space daro for two entries journal entry pani kan la pasa ngai partner pathuman nya tro he question en ngai to lovin mo all some win kan siam the to working note a inject don he chu partner pathuman nya tro verbal clock A B le C A B le C by balance BD kumtira balance chu inge 90,000 75,000 tro le partners capital account partners account kan credit zong zong kha credit side kan danga kan debit zong zong kha debit side kan dang into them two we don't have to see the questions anymore oh till this point le partner capital account kan nga debit le credit kan nga kan da je lang oh le general reserve general reserve yanula hey partners capital account che he kan zong to don ni oh partner capital account kan credit m partners capital account kan credit m yes partners capital account credit side a he kan dang general reserve kan transfer hi oh chuan ta hian enula six capital account kan credit m yes 60,000 kan credit atro he partners capital account a credit side a kan dang oh poisa lu tatro capital tur le next premium partners capital account kan credit le atro a le b account kan credit a credit side a 17,000 18,000 le 12,000 kan da don ni premium alu tatro next partners capital ming omlova tro omlova partners capital ming omlova tahian omlo bokatro next tahian enula partners capital account kan debit tatro omje chu an account na debit side ta he kan da don ani for what for the loss revaluation loss ania entertainment all someday win kan shoot the all someday win kan prepare the to question po en ngai to lowin oh by general reserve exang elu 18,000 12,000 partner sin poisa keng lu tatro cash akeng lu chu 60,000 capital turanya chuan premium akeng lu bokatro premium chu 18 le 12,000 journal entry le ledger rule aina ngo partners capital account kan credit chuan journal entry akan credit chuan credit side akan danga oh hey general reserve account credit debited to partners capital account kan tetro partners capital account kan credit an account po credit side akan dang oh premium po an account kan credit atro credit side akan dang le debit side da tur pakhat kan nei chu revaluation account loss ania tro enzange 2700 1800 le la rate kap me mase en tham ro le information tangom to la patro balance sheet kan jong thei to ma se ta hen kan film khur tur chu adjustment question ania tro adjustment question ania kan film khur le ngai kan la zo thei lo he balance cd kan la zon angai adjustment question ania adjustment question chu ni lo ta se hela hi kan belanga hi kan minus anga balance cd kan nei me don ni tro hi kan edanga hi kan minus anga balancing figure kan nei me don ni ma se adjustment question ania tro adjustment question ani chuan adjusted capital kan zon angai le point number 4 he kan chiarang C was to introduce 60,000 as capital and the capital accounts of the all partners were to be adjusted in the new profit sharing ratio. For this purpose, current account were to be opened. Oh, we have to take C's capital, C's share, and find out the adjusted capital. Oh, taking C's capital as base. Oh, class kalania. Thum lechan vea. Dar thum marito. Offline class kania. Offline tuition program petrin. Oh, le. Calculation of. Pechu can explain to. Calculation of total capital. Taking C's capital as base le C's capital chu enzange paisa thoka 60,000 tro chuan a share chu enzange 1 by 4 ania C share chu 1 by 4 total capital chu 60,000 into 4 by 1 2 lakh 40 tro 2 lakh 40 hi A B le C an capital new capital turan hiya C's capital kan thria tro 2 lakh 40 minus 60 1 lakh 80 ania tro 1 lakh 80 hi A le B akan sem don ani tro new capital ani chuan new ratio akan sem anga tro new PSR chu nge kha 9:6:5 ania tro A le B che kan endo A le B a che kan sem don tro ani chuan A le B ratio che kan la don ani 9/6 kan la hei solve tai la 3:2 ania A capital tur hi 1 lakh 8,000 1 lakh 80 divided by 5 into 2 chu 72,000 Hehe unbalanced CD turane adjusted capital ania hehe S adjusted B's adjusted to 1 lakh 872,000 hehe unbalanced CD turane no balance CD 1 lakh 872 le 60 tro can chu debit and credit should always be equal tro 90 plus 18 plus 18 helam hi 1,26,000 ania debit side hi 1,107 debit side hi 1,10700 ania can chu this should be always equal difference debit side aw matro difference to 15,300 difference to 15,300 omja chu nge kha an account actual balance hi he hinia an account actual balance to 90,000 plus 18,000 plus 18,000 90 plus 18 plus 18 minus 2700 12 actual balance to 123300 turania mase 10,800 kan ti hniam to tro account na extra paisa hi kan pelet to don question in current account open ro ate tro he by opening current account for this purpose current account were to be opened omje chu cash account kan mangla pang current account kan mangaw cash account le current account na inge difference are cash account kan mang hian paisa kan pe chuak khal refund ani chon kan pe chuak khala kenglu tur ani chon partner in a kenglu khal current account kan mang chuan future a kan peaw future a kenglu tang into mem kan adjust khalo cash account cash a chuak khal lo banga lut khal lo bok future a kenglu tang tin kan jek don ni okay chu jong chu difference chu le to current account he refund ni lemo current account na kan transfer to tro hi a capital account na extra paisa kha capital extra kha kan refund to kan pelet to do na tro cash in kan pelava tro kan pek turania ma se kan la pelava tro he kan pek ngi ngai to ni he kan pek ngi ngai don entertainment so kan la pe chuak lo ma se pek ngi ngai ani chon this will be our liability thar ania he he partners capital account na liability thar o matro balance sheet akan ta ngai ni okay entertainment revaluation account in daring o tangyo revaluation to adjustment before the new partner is admitted this is adjustment after the new partner is admitted entertainment so liability thonia tinge revaluation account akan dalo in tinge le next b hi 75,000 plus 12,000 plus 12,000 99,000 ania hela hi 99,000 which side is more credit side atamzo katro 99,000 ania 18 plus 72 chu yes 99,000 credit side atamzo katro 99,000 credit side atamzo ka 99,000 ania ani chuan ta hian 99,000 thau tur nia tro inga difference le 99,000 minus he kan minus anga 25,200 omja chu bis account na paisa extra 25,200 hi kan refund ang kan penghal la watro future a kan pele don ni future a kan pek ngi ngi ngai le 60 c chu eng ma changes om lo wanga tro tikhan partners capital account kan zau entry kan la zo lo tahan kan phim khurangai exam a anti sol thin kati khatro real life apo journal entry che hi kan pass angai tro journal entry kan pass anga ledger chu amai na sim doni software in na sim doni into mem journal entry kan pass lo chon mo ledger a information om thelo sham shem into mem journal entry kan pass ngi ngi ngai general reserve account na ledger account na general reserve te cash te premium te revaluation loss om na than hi nge journal entry kan pass wangan ya tro account na hei thil hi om tharatro engwangin nge niang hi journal entry pass lo tai la account na om thei lo shim shim entertainment je chu we have to pass journal entry for this also tahan an exam anti swal thin an miss out thin mark ni an deduct thin okay le analyze ang partners capital account hi 1 a hi 15,300 in kanti niama b hi 25,200 in kanti niama tro capital account kan ti ni matro ani jon kan debit anga anga is capital account to is current account inzat in kan ti niam a hi 15,200 in kan ti niam matro account kan debit side kan da tro 15,200 in kan ti niam anga chuan he hi an account kan ti niam khania tro an account na extra capital kha peklet anga tro kan penga lawa cash in kan pe chok nga lawa current account na kan transfer atro he liability kan siam chem ti kan current account and credit balance ani to atro kan share two liabilities will always have credit balance liability apung chuan kan credit zelang entertainment this is a new liability towards a new balance sheet akan dang hi ngai entertainment being excess amount being excess amount of capital transferred to current account is capital account na extra capital kha kan refund do na cash account in kan refund lo wa kan current account na kan transfer hi future kan pek ngai liability thar kan siam le b po tiang bokin bis capital account debited exact in kan ti hiam 5255 tro to bis current account 25200 hi liability thar balance sheet akan dangi ngai entertainment in them tura ka ngai tikhan balance sheet in cm thei ka ring to balance sheet cm la item thar oyang ro balance sheet kan cm lo long yo cho in boyang item thar oma ti lo lo myang tlai shet myang tuition chu poi lo new balance sheet kan cm kan shet chu new balance sheet kan cm do na tro all balance sheet kan na nga revaluation account kan na nga balance sheet kan cm do na ni tro engma en boy ngai to lobin le copy paste phat ang current account patents stock provision matro less provision John cash le balance 90,000 30,000 90,000 30,000 stock here HOCF kira ngai lo 60,000 engoro new value min pesa atro new value min pesa difference min pelo a new value min pe ni question amo hey new value min pe ngal old value min pelo difference min pelo atro new value min pe ngala he kan jia khal theni chu then 296 stock 54 then 296 or in dujuan a difference po khain in thea all balance sheet in nga revaluation account in nga kathi kan tiang pen chau hi kan tiang 90,000 ania tro 90,000 hey old value ania revaluation account en taila revaluation account en taila account kan siam lo batro journal entry hi an taila plant hi kan zong ang hei plant hi 6000 kan ti niam to tro om ja chu minus angai tro or new value min pesa journal entry kan pass account kan siam lo batro sorry kan debit kati swallow to machinery account plant account kan debit alom plant account kan debit alom hei whenever the value of asset increases debit the asset account tro apung tinanya sorry tutuk information min penghala kon copy paste ang peten sa chon eng ma change om lova tro peten sa eng ma change om lova 30,000 stock hi stock value min pek chu 54 ania debtors hi 54,000 tro provision kan siam hi enzang ya 2700 51300 cash hi balance umsa chu 60,000 ania partner tharin 60,000 capital tur keng luta chuan 30,000 premium tur keng lut tro paisa chuak eng mam lapa so balance is 6,000 opening balance is 6,000 hi account in du chuan account in siam thea in du chuan tikhan in ti thei bok 96 tikhan 327300 asset thar eng mam lapa tro asset thar eng mam lapa okay le liability side kan enang capital kan da phatanga a b le c un capital hi balance cd ania tro new capital chu balance cd ania hi 108 chuan 72,000 60,000 total is 2,40,000 un capital la extra poisa om kha kan la pe chuak lo batro liability angin kan la ziak ria tro current account na liability side a kan da ngo an account na extra poisa kan la chuak kha hi kan pek turania 15,200 A chu inzang kha sorry 15,300 B 25,200 15,300 25,200 40500 True. 40500 next balance sheet and Leila general reserve to can transfer to true creditors 45,000 creditors 45,000 anya journal entry are creditors zongila journal entry are creditors so ma'am kongayom entry number 1 achoning mamlava 2 omlava 3 omlo boka 4 plant tanya 5 stock provision le point number 7 creditor he can debit tro 4200 umja chu kan creditor value at name to atro creditors will always have credit balance whenever the value increases credit whenever the value reduces debit 4200 in at name to atro so it's again you minus pay kangai to lo he kan pay kangai to lo tro 4200 he kan pay kangai to lo khania liability kan pay kangai chu 40800 le kan len le tu chu liability thar mem ti kha kan na ngai tro contingent liability pakhat o matro thar kha provision for in practice angayo ni lo chon mo in boyang provision for contingent liability 6,000 man o matro new liability om kha tikhan 327 300 327 300 tikhan kan balance sheet azau practice ro practice lo chon in thathiam ringo tang in chok chon in boyang nang manin in chok khan in boy zelang practice ro tlem bera voi ni voi thum vel chu practice angai thil dar thum le chan ve vai va kona class kania 37 ani to chok lai lo chun chok lai lo ini chu chuna chok ani thina jinga breakfast kania chuna chok kania sara atra ka ila chok lai lo chok yanga chon 3:30 class kania indu chon offline tuition point join the chon engemani problem in nei chon 7005 7 05721165 hi ka number ania min bereng the call lowin min WhatsApp ang min DM ang le kan du talk mai don 2 hours 1 to 2 kan la rei to khap me tro ma se pelo lo en la zo nai nei chon min zo the le next class next lecture question solve tur kala ne question number 31 le 36 kan tilenga chon adjustment chu in thiam to to ra ka ngai to hemi question pan hi kan solve to chon le kan du to nga see you in the next lecture bye bye take care